BattleBrothers is a strategy RPG that's made for the PC. It's made as console to view on the Switch, and as far as this recording, it's a console exclusive to the Switch. But the question remains, is it a good game? And does it translate good from the PC to the console? Well, let's find out. Welcome back, folks, to my review of BattleBrothers on Nintendo Switch. Before we get started, I would like to remind you that I do not give scores to my reviews. The reason why I don't give scores to my reviews is the simple fact that I might really like a game, but the vast majority you may not, or vice versa. So I'll tell you what I think, if this game's worth it, and if so, who's it worth it to. So anyways, let's hop to it. As I said, BattleBrothers is a strategy RPG that is a very tough game. I mean, brutally tough. It's so tough that it has a warning in the intro screen of the game. This game is sort of the vein of Fire Emblem when it comes to combat. It's a little bit like XCOM, but not in the sense that it has cover mechanics or anything like that. However, it's a lot different than Fire Emblem. For example, when you put it down to story mode or whatever, you won't lose characters. In BattleBrothers, normal mode or easy mode or whatever is still like hard mode in Fire Emblem, where you will still primarily lose your characters and more likely lose a lot of characters in the game. It's very loose on story, as you can see here. You select a scenario that you can pick up to play. The skulls over there show how hard the scenario is, but even if it's a one skull, you're gonna die a lot and you'll probably not beat the game the first playthrough. It is that tough, so it might take some points off for people who want to play the game. Your characters will start off as low-class warriors or peasants or whatever scenario you pick. They will likely have very little good equipment and very few stats. It's quite possible your first day and your first battle in this game, you will die. Depending on what scenario you pick and the endgame crisis, you will have a factor in how hard the game is and how well you fare. For example, I would highly suggest for your first playthrough, if you live long enough while playing, that is, select Normal War as your first endgame crisis. The reason being is it's a lot easier to avoid fighting. If you're not ready for it, then you can still level up, as opposed to Greenskin Invasion, where the Greenskins are going to screw you up, and boy, they will ruin your day. They are tough. They are very tough. The world is procedurally generated, so it's always different each time you play. The world has different towns and goods you can get, but the problem with this, however, is sometimes you will get seeds that are bad. That doesn't have the things you want, like a hunter's lodge, for example, for good hunters. It's going to cause your game to be not as enjoyable as you would like. However, if you're really determined to get a good seed, there's lots of seeds online from players that have played the PC version or now even the Switch version you can get if you really want a good seed. Me personally, I've been playing random seeds, and so far I haven't had much of issues with getting the things that I want. For example, having an arena and a blacksmith and all that stuff. It's all there, at least in my experience. And in my opinion, I do think that they made the Switch version easier than the PC version. I've noticed that on easy mode, I seem to be able to do a lot better and find a lot more things than I do on the PC. But hey, that could be just me, thinking that, and it's not really like that. Anyways, gameplay is diverse in the ways of making money and doing quests. To do quests, there are towns that you go to, and if you see in the upper corner right there, they have little scrolls that have scars determining how hard it is. However, as I said, the game is tough, so you could take a one skull mission and still potentially wipe if you're not ready. This game needs you to pay attention to strategies. what kind of weapons you do, what kind of armors you have, what level you have, where you position your characters, who goes in the front line, who goes in the back line, etc., etc. You can do trading as well, though I haven't been able to get into it much as I'm struggling to understand the trade mechanic. But you can make a lot of crowns by trading between town to town. You can even get a cart to pull and have lots of things in the back. So if you end up getting into a fight with a bunch of monsters and you have a bunch of equipment that you want to carry with you, you can put it in the back. Or if you want to be a traveling caravan, you could do that as well. You can also fight in the arena in the Southern Sands, where you get lots of coins, but the risk of battle is high. It's to the death. So you could potentially lose BattleBrothers doing that. But the money from it, you can get about 900 crowns to 1,000 crowns per battle per day. That's a lot. There is legendary monsters and legendary areas you can go find epic loot. I found, for example, a rare shield. It's very hard to do, but once you do it, it's very satisfying to know that you have a named weapon that can crush the skull of your enemies, or very good looking armor. There's escort missions, there's bandit hut missions, there's raiding where you can raid towns and outposts if you join a noble faction. You can attack peasants and caravans on the road while they're in the map, but be warned, if you decide to be a bad guy and make enemies with the noble houses, you will not be able to trade with the towns that they own, and they will send out mercenaries to attack you. Leveling up, however, can be a little confusing. It's done through dice rolls, and sometimes when you level up, you'll randomly have like a +5 to this, or a +1 to this, and sometimes it can be a little bit frustrating when you have bad rolls on good characters, and you want to level up something. The perk system is a little bit confusing as well. It's hard to tell what perks you can take, so I advise anyone who wants to try this game to look up tutorials on some things. However, it's not too much needed. Some of the perks have like Colossus, where your character has buff to hit points, and stuff like that. Now, I did say that this story is light on story, but it does have some story elements. The brothers could have silly backstories, for example, and you can run into events where you recruit brothers or they do something to help your characters. For example, I once found a battle brother who was about to be stoned to death because he was a filly fiddler. Yes, you heard me right, a filly fiddler. He, did stuff to horses. Yeah, they have some weird backstories sometimes. There was another guy who was being hung because he had adultery with his neighbor's wife, so they were gonna hang him. But we decided to cut him down, and he joined us. There's a bunch of like little story elements that they do throw in, but it's not heavy on story. But sometimes you get attached to these characters just because of the random story elements that do come up. And then when you lose them, it kind of hurts a bit because you're just like, wow, I built this guy up and he helped this guy, he saved this brother, and then now he's dead and he's gone. Overall, BattleBrothers is a very good experience if you're into hardcore games that are strategy based. A lot of losing brothers can get frustrating for newcomers, so I suggest if you're new to the genre and never played a strategy RPG before, stick with the modern Fire Emblems, as they do have an easy mode where you won't lose your characters. This will prepare you for a game like BattleBrothers. I would recommend this game to anyone who likes turn-based strategy RPGs. However, I must mention the price. It costs the same as the PC, so there's no Switch tax. However, some of you may not like the price. It has 3 expansion packs, or 4, one of the two. Yeah, 4. So if you buy the complete version, it's $50. If you buy just the original BattleBrothers with no green skin invasion, no Southern Sands, none of that stuff, it will be $30. So the price might be steep to entry for some people who don't care for indie games like this. However, as a fan of the genre and a very big fan of the game, I cannot stress enough that it's worth the price in my opinion. However, if you're new to the genre, avoid this game for a while until you get used to it, because it's tough and unforgiving, and there's even days where I'm playing it, enjoying it, and I lose all my brothers, and I'm like, screw this game, I'm not playing it no more. Well, there you have it, folks. I hope you enjoyed my review of BattleBrothers for Nintendo Switch. It's a good game, but I'd only recommend it to people who are into hardcore games like this. And if you're not, or don't have the patience to try it out, skip it. That's what I say. If you like reviews like this, please give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you dislike. Hit that bell thing so it rings, and I will see you next time. Hop you later.